Today we're going to talk about Homelink 2.7, the partial sums addition method. And the note says, today your child learned about adding two 3-digit numbers using a procedure called the partial sums method. Your child may choose to use this method or may prefer a different procedure. So for more information, there is a student reference book which is here at school, so don't refer to that. Just send me an email if you have questions. So this does come back to school tomorrow. So here are the directions. Solve each addition problem. You may want to use the partial sums method. It's not required, so as long as your child knows how to do addition with 3 digits, actually I don't care which method that they use, but today I'm going to be talking about partial sums. Use a ballpark estimate to check that your answer makes sense. Write a number model to show your estimate. So, just like the problems we've done the past couple of days, there's a process that we have to go through to do these problems. So, this one, the first one, is 245 plus 92. Now, it's important for the kids to recognize that this is the ones place, this is the tens place, and this is the 100s place. And to help them with their homework tonight, I'm actually sending home a separate form that has those lines. So if your child needs that support, please feel free to use this paper with them. There are only 4 boxes, so you can flip it over and draw some extras on the back that look like that if they need some help. And what I would suggest is, so here's the number, here's what they're adding. I would just write it just like this: 2, 4, 5, plus 9, 2. Lining up those columns is really a key skill, and it's kind of tricky. Especially at first when kids start to do it, because they'll put it all in the wrong spots. And so they know that this is 2 and this is 5. But some kids look at this and they still think it's 4. But this isn't a 4. This is actually 40 because it's in the tens place. And some kids look at this and they think it's a 9. But this actually isn't a 9. It's a 90. And over here, some kids look at this and they think, oh, it's just a 2. But really it's not a 2. Because it's in the 100s place, so it's 200. And sometimes, because kids don't recognize where the place is that it should go, they'll just stick the numbers kind of, they might put the 9 here, and then the 2 here, and instead of 92, they end up with 920, which makes adding kind of tricky, okay? So, this is how I would suggest you set the problems up, or help your child set the problems up, because then they can see the exact places. And when we go to add this, this is the method that it shows. So it actually breaks down those place values. It breaks down what it equals. So it adds the 3 and the 7 and it gets 700. Okay, so we don't have anything in the hundreds place here. So I'm going to write that just to remind myself. But I'm going to add the 2 and the 0. And that's not really a 2, it's really 200. So I'm going to do that. And then up here, if you want to look at the example, it's 2 plus 1. That's 3, so that's a 30. Okay? So here, we add 4 plus 9, we get 13. Okay, but that's not really, it's not really 13. It's going to be 13, and then, because it's in the tens place, so it's 130. Okay, so then we're going to add 5 plus 2, I'm sorry, and we're going to get 7. And that is just a 7 because it's in the ones place. We don't need to add anything at all to go with that. And this is a lot easier for kids to see sometimes. So 0 plus 0 plus 0 is 7. And then 0 plus 3 is 3. And then 2 plus 1 is 3. So the answer to this problem is 337. And this is how you could do the partial sums method, and that's just by breaking it down into those different place values that each number is worth. Let me demonstrate another one. So if we take a look at from the workbook here, which the students are working in today, let's take a look at a 3-digit problem. So 172 plus 109. What we're going to do is this. Well, first of all, before we even do the partial sums method, I'm going to write the problem over here. 172, I'm going to check back, plus 109. Plus 109. Before we even do that, I'm going to make a ballpark estimate, because I want to kind of know if I'm in the right ballpark with this. So let's see, 172, that's like about 170. Plus 109, that's about 110. And these are easy numbers to add. I know 100 plus 100 is 200. And I know that 70 plus 10 is 80. So I think that my answer should be about 280. And I want to do this even before I complete the problem. So we have 280 is what I think my answer might be. Now I'm going to try using the partial sums method to add these up. So I'm going to look right over here in my hundreds. So I've got 100 plus 100, and I'm going to get 200. I know that's 200 right there. I already used these numbers. And then I'm going to say 7 plus 0 is, well, it's 7. But it's not really 7 because it's in the tens. So it's really a 70. So I'm going to add 200 plus 70. And then I'm going to say 9 plus 2. And this really is 9 plus 2 because it's in the ones place. So 9 plus 2 is 11. And then I'm going to add those up. And these numbers are much more easy. I'm going to just extend those lines right down there so that I can keep my columns really lined right up straight. Like I said, keeping these columns lined up can be tricky. So we want to, this is why I'm suggesting that you maybe try to use this paper with your homework tonight, because it will help you keep track of where you're adding. So I'm going to say 0 plus 0 is 1, 7 plus 1 is 8, and 2, and there's nothing else there. So my answer I got is 281. And then I have to ask myself, are 281 and 280 close? Yeah, I think that they're pretty close. They're only just one off. So this is what you want to do. So you look at the numbers on the home link, and here's a copy of the home link, just so you can see it. These are the numbers on it. And as you can see, they are all three-digit addition, just like I showed on this paper here. So the students can draw the columns in themselves if they like writing really tiny, or if you want to use this big paper, they can use this, so they can copy it over on another paper. Either way, have them get the lines drawn through the place value. Ask them which is the hundreds, which is the tens. Please review that with your student, because that will help reinforce that, especially as we get into adding bigger and bigger numbers. They're going to want to know which is which. Have them make a ballpark estimate. Okay, and just write to the tens place. Round it right to the tens place, and then see what they get for an answer there. Then, have them go through the partial sums method, and just remind them when they're adding this up, these are the final numbers that they add together. So they wouldn't want to add like 2 plus 9 plus 1. They would want to just add these numbers up that they got by using the partial sums method. Then, have them compare. Is 281 and 280 close? And if they think yes, then the answer is probably a good answer. If they think no, if you're more than a few off, you really want to check this addition again and make sure you're getting it. And in the case that your child is just not understanding this, but you can teach them a different way to do it, please feel free to do that. Like I said, I'm not tied to the fact that they have to use this method to do addition. As long as they are using a method of addition that works for them, that is the key. That is the key. And again, please also just try to help them understand these place values. If you have any further questions, or you're having a little bit of trouble with this, please do feel free to email me, and I will try to get back to you as soon as I can. Thank you, and good luck.